Hi, welcome to this new video from the Skeleton System. I know previously we had said that we weren't really going to be doing these vlogs, but I just kind of decided that we can use our phone for now until if/when we decide that we want to get a actual camera to be doing this. But our camera works fine. I mean, you can see me talking. It works. But anyway, thank you for choosing this video to watch. We are going to be talking about some big changes that happened in the system in the past few months since our last video. The biggest thing that happened was we had an integration. And hi, that's me. I'm an integration. Before I really get into myself, I'm going to very quickly be going over what an integration is and what it could mean for the system in general, and then we will be getting into more my personal side and experience later. So, integration in general is when two headmates or alters, or whichever term you prefer, sorry, perform was not the right word, prefer, they decide, maybe not decide, but they are fused into one headmate. We really like the analogy of using the gems from Steven Universe as an example of this, because they show that even though two gems will fuse, that creates a whole new gem. It isn't just a gem that is half one, half the other. It is a whole new gem. And that's what happens with an integration too. I'm not half one, half the other. I am my own person. So yeah, that's kind of basically what an integration is. There are a lot more YouTubers that will be able to give you a lot better detailed explanation of this, but I hope that listening to our personal experience, my personal experience with becoming an integration, might help answer some of those questions. So, hi, my name's Emerson. I use be, beast, beast selves, or dem, demi, demi self pronouns. Also, in regards to that, if need be, I do use he, him pronouns when I don't feel comfortable enough to use neo pronouns. But let me talk about why I am an integration. Who I am an integration of, sorry. I guess I should start there. Who I'm an integration of is Henley, our previous host, and Addison, the one who previously made a video. They fused and became me. Henley was going through a really rough time at the time, and I'm not sure exactly where Addison was emotionally, but they fused, became me. Another aspect that was included in that was, I believe, a fraction of a headmate, who I previously identified as, where I felt more like I was a facet of Henley than a actual headmate. But how we realized this was after being like a fraction for a little bit. I didn't have a name at first. I just kind of did my thing. I identify as a demigod / half-blood from the Percy Jackson series, a non-canon character, an unnamed character in the universe. And so I just had been going by the name Half-Blood or Demigod in the system and to kind of like show myself for our Twitter feed. But one day I got the strong desire to actually choose a name, and I came across Emerson and it just spoke to me, and so I chose that. Around this same time, I realized that no one in the system could get in contact with Henley. And which isn't that super uncommon. There have definitely been times when Henley has gone dormant, not necessarily dormant, but has definitely not been communicative before for a couple days even. Which, that was fine. I just kind of thought that at the time I kind of thought that they needed a break from fronting and they needed to step back and not front and not be the host anymore, I guess. So I was kind of coming into this new role of being a host because I was the only one fronting, and so I was just gonna kind of be like at least a short-term host while Henley while Henley like worked on what they need to work on. And then shortly after that, we realized I was able to get in contact with Jack. We realized that also Addison wasn't anywhere to be seen or heard from. And around the same time, I started getting memories that Henley didn't have before, so even as a facet, I felt like I very much knew only what Henley knew. And so when I started remembering things that Henley definitely did not have memory of, that's when I started to realize that, yeah, maybe an integration happened. I didn't want to believe it at first. I didn't want that to be the truth. I wanted, sorry, I still have lipstick on my hand. But I wanted to, I was scared. I didn't want to lose two of my best friends, two of the system's best friends. It was scary. I ended up talking it through with a couple of friends, a couple other systems that we know, kind of talking to asking how they knew that they had integrated before and, how to work through it. And one of the biggest things that we got told was, if you are in integration, denying it is just going to make everything harder. It's just going to make it so that everything gets harder. And that kind of clicked with us that, yeah, we needed to accept whatever the truth was, whether that was that we did integrate and that did happen, or, maybe in a few months Henley or Addison will come back up and show back up. It would be fun. But I kind of, after a lot of introspection, I kind of realized that, yeah, I am an integration. One of the big things that kind of helped me click was looking at what made Henley and Addison them, and seeing where those personality traits, those aspects of them, if they were in me. And one thing that kind of made it click was, yeah, I do have a lot of their aspects, a lot of their personality, a lot of their likes and dislikes, without the aspects of them that made it hard for them to live their full lives. For example, Addison was a very talkative, very friendly, very articulate person. Ask them about ask them about anything and they would find you an answer if they didn't have it, or if they did have an answer, they would break it down for you in every way possible to make sure you understood it, and ask them questions because they knew how to phrase things, and I've adopted a lot of that. I've developed a lot of that because of the integration. But also with Addison, while they had those skills, while they had that passion for talking and speaking to others, and the friendliness, they also had very debilitating social anxiety. And it made it hard for them to speak to others, made it hard for them to be who they wanted to be. And like that, Henley had a lot of interests that they absolutely adored, and I know that when I just thought that I was a facet of theirs, I also had a lot of those similarities, those likes, those dislikes, those interests. But after the integration, I realized that I was a lot better well equipped to be actually coping with everything that was going on, and being able to cope with our depression symptoms and our anxiety and our panic attacks. Being able to cope with those by myself, much better than Henley could. And that was kind of what made it click, was I had these aspects of both of them. I had memories from both of them that I could tell was not originally there. And when I finally admitted that we had integrated, that Henley and Addison were gone, as far as we know, it was nice. I felt a lot more comfortable with myself. I felt a lot more sure of who we are as a system. But on the other hand, that has led to also slight issues within the system. I know that one headmate in particular has been getting very aggressive towards me and very hateful towards me. Not in any way that actually makes me feel fear for our body's safety or my own safety, but very rude comments being made and being left externally makes it hard to kind of feel happy that I integrated. But thankfully we have our protector, Jack, who has been kind of stepping in the middle, kind of taking time to explain things, kind of run interference, making sure that the other headmate is not leaving hateful comments on public postings, such as our Twitter, so that we don't distress anyone else out. Also just running interference, trying to explain what happened. This other headmate was very, very close to Addison, and so I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that she feels like I stole her, like I took her away. And that's not the truth. I didn't choose this. I didn't choose to integrate. But I think that there's a good chance that Addison did. That Addison, at least in some way, wanted to integrate. And maybe that was out of a need for help for herself. Maybe that was a need to help Henley. I don't know. I don't think I'll ever know. But was done for the best. And that has been one of the most reassuring thoughts for this whole thing. I've just been going over what happened, what could have happened, and when it all comes down to it, is Henley and Addison wanted to integrate, or even if they didn't want to integrate, but that was probably the best thing that happened for the system. The system, I, Emerson, am better equipped to take care of the system. I am better equipped to take care of us and make sure the body is healthy, that we're living in a space that brings us joy, that we are fulfilling everything that we need to fulfill. I know that I didn't post any pictures of our body in the previous video, but previous to this integration, we had like longer than shoulder length hair, and it caused a lot of distress for Henley and for a lot of individuals in the system. The only two headmates that actually have long hair are Celia and Camille, and I think that was part of the reason why Henley never wanted to cut the hair, was because, oh, well, it's easier. In their head, they were like, well, it's easier to make us look like we have short hair than to make us look like we have long hair if we have short hair. But pretty much as soon as the integration happened, I had cut off all of our hair. I had done it all myself. I've become a lot more open with what we need as a system and within myself. Having a lot less self-doubt, and making moves to better ourselves. I guess in that way, I'm not really sure where else I'm going with this, but yeah, I guess this is time to wrap it up. We're going to be continuing communication with the headmate that doesn't like that the integration happened, and maybe she can come on and do a video of this herself, but I'm not sure if she'd be willing to. But yeah, thank you for watching. Stay safe, stay positive, help out your fellow person, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye!